Hey everybody, Chris here. So another drop in the Dogecoin and crypto prices. Is it going to drop further? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And we see this downward pressure in the markets, and what is causing that? We're going to get into that. And what are the market structure? What did the chart structure look like in terms of support and where this market can be going in the future? So let's get into it. Let me show you the charts in the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Let me start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart. We're holding 23 cents right here, holding 23 right now on the pullback in. I'll zoom out in a second and you'll see this orange line and what that represents as far as support. On my chart, Bitcoin 111.5. That's right, failed the 112 support again and pulled back a little more, but this is more about ETH, and ETH pulling down to $4,000 and has this one big wick that came down to about 39.60, and that is the key to this pullback, is really based on ETH. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about ETH, and then we're going to get to Doge, and I'm going to show you what I think is happening overall in this market. However, first, we're going to zoom out and we're going to take a look, because you can't get all focused in too close. And I know we had this nice run up here coming up to 30 cents and we were all euphoric and this is great. There are some who are calling that actually the top of the market, but it was in the middle of September and we still have October and Moonvember to come. Well, we hope, right? No guarantees in the future, right? No guarantees in the future. But we were looking, as we zoom out, we were looking again at, from the run we've had, and this is from middle of June, right? Dogecoin trades up, hits a high, trades down, higher low, and then trades again, higher high, and here we have the higher low. So it's like, higher lows, higher highs. That is the overall structure in a bull cycle for Dogecoin, and that's a mini version of it. There's a bigger one if I zoom out further, but we know when Doge goes on these runs, right, it does it in a short period of time. Here's this one in a short period of time. We're waiting for this next one here, which is in my green box out here. That's what we're waiting for next. But we got to wait just a little bit longer, I think. As I've been saying, we're still September, and I am forecasting this to start in another week. So we gotta get through this. But this is where we are now. We're bouncing off that support line right there that I've been showing on my chart, right? We showed that since that dip on the 1st of September, of course, that I had predicted, right? And there it is again. So that's what's happening. And ETH, again, we're going to talk more about ETH, but ETH overall, that structure, that pullback there was just taking out millions and millions of dollars of leverage to come down to that point at 4,000. So, and we've done a lot of looking at ETH in the past. We've had, that support line was way down here, longer term support, and ETH has totally blown that out. So ETH trading relatively high compared to where it was early in the year, but everyone gets all caught up in a little bit of movement there, which again can still take out a lot of leverage. And that's what the theme is here as we talk about Bitcoin first. We see the patterns. Bitcoin Census saying, look, liquidity sweep before the rally. And that's what these are, right? So what happened May and June, right? Bitcoin came down, right? Did some long leverage liquidations, trades up at a slightly lower high than its previous, and then does another drop even lower. That's that 1, 2, 3 pattern. See that? Even lower to take out more leverage. Look what we have here. A high, comes down, meets a low, takes out liquidity, comes back, second move, lower than the first, and then this is what is a possibility here, and that's Bitcoin coming back down below this 108,000 line. That would play out that pattern, and we would see this sweep down to 106 maybe, which would be this bigger leverage sweep. That's in play, particularly if we have this U.S. government shutdown that I've been talking about. That's the kind of move that Bitcoin could make. And if that happens, Doge is down at 20 cents. People have been asking me, you think Doge is going to drop to 20? And I'm like, you tell me the news, right? The chart structure, that's technical analysis. I'm going to look at leverage, and I'm going to look at the news, right? And that's what we see. But this big move following, though, October, November, that is still in play. And there's nothing that negates that. Look, brutal reality of leverage traders. Trust me, on-chain, showing how high leverage is getting liquidated in one shot. ETH dipped under 4K, and a whale thought to open the long. And then what did they do? They took it out. 9,152 ETH, $36 million liquidated. Liquidated. From multimillionaire to broke in one candle. This was so quick, bro. And this is on Hyperliquid. This is a Hyperliquid trade here. Just gone. The whole thing. Wiped out. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is the kind of trade that the market makers target. They hunt these things and take these things out. Unbelievable. And here it is. Again, Ethereum, a bottom signal. Funding rates turn negative. Liquidation data confirms the flush. And there it is. That huge red line coming down. That is a giant liquidation flush. Long leverage liquidated out. So, Binance too continues to dump ETH because Hyperliquid had their leverage trades. Binance has its own. And in the Binance ones, what do we have? We have them. This is what they always do, right? They don't want you to win on your leverage trade. So what do? They dump ETH as well. They don't want you to win. This is what I keep saying, right? They don't want you to win. Dogecoin has no chance. When you see this downward pressure on Bitcoin and ETH, Doge is going to go down too. It has nothing to do with Dogecoin particularly. It's the market. It's the market. But ETH, what happens? ETH bounces off this 4,000 line here. What's gonna happen next? If we lose 4,000, we may see the mid threes. That's what Ben Cowan has been saying, right? This is what he's been calling for. And in a week, we could see ETH down to 3,500, retesting this next support line at 3,500, and that's what Ben was looking at. Since the April 2025 reversal, ETH's current trend, though, is still following this obvious pattern. Consolidation, shakeout, and then parabolic pump. So we looked at that ETH chart that I have, and it's the same thing, right? ETH is up here now, right? And again, every time there's a shakeout, there's a big drop, big drop, big drop, and now we're having that next big drop. Shaking out, and some of you, maybe not you, but retail traders end up selling because they're fearful. They're fearful of the market. What's the next move? Well, this is Ash Crypto's big green box too. So we're consistent there. ETH retesting the breakout. ETH is pulling back to retest the upper boundary of the right angled broadening wedge. This is a classic chart pattern that we could see. Once we retest that support and move higher, that's what ETH is doing right now on that retest. Is that going to hold? That's what we're going to be watching this next week. Fake outs don't kill ETH, they fuel it. If we look at the length of time from a big move, 66 days of chop, we have a fake out day in there. Again, same thing happening here. It's the same thing here. We have 66 days before the next pump. We've got the fake out happening now. So ETH recovers and then moves higher. That would be the pattern in an overall bull cycle. And then if we look at others versus Bitcoin, we're waiting for that big move in the 4-year cycles. 2017, 2021, and we haven't had the big 2025 yet for others. A lot of us holding alts, particularly Doge, we're waiting for that big breakout versus Bitcoin. It looks like it's starting. You zoom out though, and it's just this little thing so far. That's when Bitcoin dominance is going to go down because others versus Bitcoin is going to go up. Solana too, same thing. We can look at the Wyckoff, right? Trader Allen's looking at this Wyckoff again. That's why they have these things, these kind of pattern things and these Wyckoff things, because they do tend to play out. The patterns do play out. You can look at Chainlink and you can say, look, here's Chainlink, which has been doing great. From May till, through July and August. Chainlink has been good, but it's coming down too, and there's a buy zone down here for Link, and Link may come into this buy zone below $20. So it's not just that. And look, Dogecoin fails to rally despite the Doge ETF launch. More upcoming funds coming, and why is that? It's falling along with the broader crypto market. That's right. This is what's happening, right? Dogecoin has tumbled just like the overall crypto market, which is experiencing a major pullback. So Doge can't help itself unless it has bigger news. And that's how Dogecoin trades. It needs bigger news. Can bulls defend the key trend line after a price drop, right? Dogecoin price continues declining below key support levels, bearish technical indicators pointing to potential further weakness. This is what's out there. So we just have to be ready. And what do? You can buy some more at lower prices. We don't know, again, whether we're going to defend this 23-cent zone, or is the news going to cause that drop to come down even lower? So as Dogecoin struggles, is the market preparing for another sharp drop? Is there a sharp drop the market is setting up for? That's what we're watching for. Because, when you zoom in, right, you can say we got this downward sloping resistance line, but you zoom out like I did earlier, and you've got this upward sloping support line. That's all going to come to a head, and that's going to be in about a week. So I will be doing a Dogecoin price prediction video for October, a week from now, on October 1st. We're going to be looking, is there a government shutdown, what the effect on the market is going to be, and what's my outlook for October then going forward. That's coming in a week. Meanwhile, this is what we've got, right? We've got this tightening sort of triangle here. We had a breakout of it, come back and retest, and we are at this confluence right now. We got that confluence going right at 23 cents. What's that next move going to be? Is it going to come down and take out a little more leverage like we see on ETH and Bitcoin? Or are they satisfied enough, flushed out enough of that leverage, and now it can move higher? What's the next move? Well, Mag says, look, this is your daily reminder. Dogecoin is still going to $1. So Mags posts this again. So he is very optimistic for Doge. Are you optimistic for Doge? Is this pullback freaking you out? Are we going to hold this 23-cent line? I will be live at 4 o'clock p.m. East Coast time here in the United States. Wherever you are in the world, come join in. Make sure you're subscribed. You got your notifications on. You can join in on the live streams where we broaden out these discussions. Look at a bunch of other crypto as well during the lives. Leave a comment below. What do you think about this pullback? And give the video a like. And again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.